This recipe is for a winter vegetable and lentil soup. It's a nice straightforward recipe in that everything just goes into the one pan, so not a complicated method of cooking. However, it does give you an opportunity to practice your knife skills. So I've got a stick of celery which I've already washed, and it is important to wash celery because where it grows in the dirt you can get quite a lot of dirt in the grooves. And I'm just going to top and tail it, so cut off either end, and then the celery is going to be sliced to go in the soup. So the slices need to be quite thin. Celery takes quite a long time to cook, so I am going to do slices across, little horseshoes, but I only want them to be a couple of millimetres thick. So all of the celery is sliced and goes into the pan. Now when you get down towards this end of the celery, you can see it's much wider. If I put in a piece of celery that size, it is going to take longer to cook. So when I've sliced, I would say down to about there, and I will finish slicing that up and putting it in a minute. What I would do with the rest of this celery, because I don't want to have uncooked celery in there, using bridge hold, I'm just going to slice through my fingers, put that together, and then slice down again, so that this end of the celery, rather than wasting it, and I'm just going to swap to claw grip, is going to be cooked in the same time as the rest of the celery. So all of my celery is going to go in there, and in a minute I will finish slicing that up and I will add it to my pan. So I've got celery, I have 2 carrots, and the carrots I'm just peeling onto a plate out of the way of my board because I do not want to have all the peelings on my board, and it's really important that you keep your dirty peelings away from the vegetables that you want to use. So again, going to take the tops and take the ends off the carrot. Now because this is soup, again I'm just going to slice the carrot, so nice thin slices. All this food needs to cook through, all the vegetables need to cook through in the same amount of time. So this is quite a small carrot, and I will finish slicing that one in a minute. This one on the other hand, long and thin at one end, which is fine to keep slicing, but at this end, and again I will slice all of that, where it's much bigger, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that through, and then I will slice this end so that the pieces of carrot are roughly the same size again. You do not want to be having vegetables in your soup that are uncooked. So I'll slice that again in a minute and add it to the pan, but the vegetable, the carrot, can just go into the pan. I've got a bit of sweet potato. This is quite large, and I'm just going to cut this in half because I don't want to put all that sweet potato in this one dish. And same as I would do with a normal potato, I'm going to peel this, but again I'm doing it over the plate. So peel your sweet potato nice and evenly, make sure that you get rid of all the skin on the outside, and I quite like to go round again. I don't like to see the white here. I like to see the nice colour from the sweet potato, and that bit I think, yeah, will come out. So anywhere I've got a large amount of white, I'm going to get rid of that, and then I'm just going to turn it round and do the other end of the potato. So at the top here, you can see it doesn't look quite so good. So I'm just going to, there we go, once with the peeler, and that's off. Now this I would like to dice. So because it's a round vegetable, it's going to roll around while I'm trying to chop this, unless I take a slice from the bottom, move that to one side, and then stand my potato up. The next thing I'm going to do is slice it through using bridge hold, so that I have pieces of sweet potato about 1/2 centimetre wide. I want my slices to be about 1/2 centimetre wide. I don't want any one vegetable not to be cooked. And I want to dice this, so I'm going to take 2 or 3 slices of the sweet potato. Don't try and work on it all in the same time, and you need to cut it into chips. So bridge hold again and cut through so that your potato is hopefully again into 1/2 centimetre strips. You can then turn it round, use claw grip, cut down, and you should find that you've got nice evenly sized diced bits of sweet potato. So small bits of sweet potato like that can go into the pan. So I'll just repeat that. From your slices, bridge hold, go through the sweet potato or whatever it is that you want to chop, turn it into chips. Turn the chips around, claw grip, cut across, and then you should get your dice. So dice should be small cubes like that. And again, I will dice the rest of that sweet potato in a minute, but for the moment I just want to get that into the pan. So I've got 2 vegetables left. I have an onion. You could use leek if you wanted, if leeks are around, but I've got a red onion, and I'm just going to cut that in half and then peel the dry layers off the onion. So take off any layers until you are happy with what the onion looks like underneath. If you're not sure, it's easier to take off one more layer. Chop one end off your onion, and then we need to slice this. So I've deliberately left one end on the onion, and I'd normally do this with bridge hold, but what I want you to see is that I'm cutting through, not, I'm going to have to swap to bridge hold, not all the way to the end, so that I can pick that onion up and it stays together. Turn it round, bridge, claw grip, and cut down so that you have finely chopped onion. Do both halves of your onion and put that in. Again, I'll do the other half in a minute. And I've also got garlic. So the garlic, I'm just going to squash a bit first, blade of the knife on the board, and then press down, and you should hear it crunch. That just makes it much easier to peel the skin off your garlic. And please note, again, all the rubbish is going onto the plate. Just going to take the root off, and then this needs to be roughly chopped for the soup. So slice, turn it round, chop it a little bit, and then keeping the tip of your knife on the board, you can chop some more. Just keep rearranging your garlic, getting it back into the middle, and keep chopping. And as soon as you've chopped all of that, that can again go into your saucepan. So the other ingredients to be added at the moment are 85 grams of red lentils. You need to put in, there we go, about 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, so quite a good squirt of tomato puree, and then you will need to add your stock. So your stock would be made from a stock cube crumbled into water, and you need to add enough water to completely cover these vegetables. So when I've got all of my vegetables in there, I'm going to make sure that I've got enough water in there to at least cover them. I'd start with a litre of water. If that is not enough to cover your vegetables, add another half a litre. But these red lentils will absorb some of the water and some of it is going to evaporate. So start with a litre and then it can go on to the heat. All my vegetables are now prepared and are in the saucepan, and I have 1 litre of stock which I'm just going to add. So the litre of stock, as you can see, has covered all the vegetables. I'm going to put another half a litre of water in my measuring jug ready. But all you have to do with this is put it on the cooker. So put it on your hob, stir it all the time until it comes to the boil. And the reason that you need to stir it is because of the lentils, and we want to actually mix all these vegetables together, but lentils do have a habit of sticking to the bottom of the pan sometimes. So stir until it comes up to the boil, turn the temperature down so that it's simmering, and then time it for 30 minutes. At the end of the 30 minutes, we want the vegetables to be soft and the lentils also to be soft and absorb some water. Keep an eye on it, stir it occasionally, and if you need to, add your extra 500 mils of water. My soup is finished cooking, and I did add the extra half a litre of water because it is meant to be soup, it is meant to be runny, and I also put in some spices, some herbs when I was cooking it. So I added a teaspoon of ground coriander and a little bit of fresh thyme to this. You can use whatever herbs and spices you like, whichever ones appeal to you for this soup, but it is quite nice to have some extra flavouring. And when your soup is finished, there we go, it does need to have liquid in it. There is no point in having a soup which is just solid. So the vegetables, what your teacher will be looking for will be vegetables that are even size and shape, all cooked through, and there will need to be some liquid with that as well.